How's it going, people? This is the Ultimate Pill Podcast. Mindset Monday 49. Mindset Monday 49. We got to get a week going right. I'm your co-host of the Ultimate Pill, Anthony Johnson. And let's talk. I'm so glad you guys decided to tune in today. Man, we got to get our week going right. Starting right now. Starts right now. Following episode 53 of The Ultimate Pill. Chris and I were talking all things mastery in that episode. You got to check it out if you haven't heard it. Self-mastery. And just how we find our path to becoming masters over our own lives. In whatever way that looks like. Over whatever medium, whatever creative outlet you have. How do we master that? How do we master ourselves? And Chris said something in that episode that really stuck out to me. That's what I really want to hone in on tonight. To get us focusing on this week. He said, we live into our labels. We live into our labels. And I thought that was really, really well said. A really good thing to remember. And so my challenge for you this week is to think about the labels that you're living into. How are you labeling yourself? What labels do you live by? Because the answer to those questions is going to be sometimes mainly invisible, but these subconscious walls, these subconscious like gutters on a bowling lane that will build this avenue for you. And it might not be the path you want to go down. And it was all because you're living by labels that you weren't conscientious of, you weren't aware of. So really this week, as we go about our days, we go back to work, pay attention to what you label yourself as, but not just to yourself, right? Like in our heads. Who are you? What are you? What do you do? But in those moments that pop up where you do get to describe who you are, you do get to say those labels to other people, maybe one person. Be conscientious of that. Be aware. Because those will define you. And think about if you're like, I don't even know how to label myself. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, think about what you want to do. Think about the life you want to live. Think about who you want to be. Who you could become. And if you can't figure that out, figure out who you absolutely don't want to be. Figure out your hell. Figure out your worst case scenario. And then do the opposite. Shoot for the opposite. Aim for the opposite of that. That'll help give you a clearer picture. If you're feeling a bit of a struggle when it comes to defining what you could be, what you could become. But once you do that work, then the challenge is to live by those labels and to be vulnerable again and to make it personal. Like I talked about this on the episode, but I even myself, like on this dream chasing after a life of being a filmmaker, where my day-to-day, my life, my job is to wake up and make movies. That's what I want to do. That's who I want to be. And I do that in my own way, but because sometimes I live by limited definitions based on external expectations of society and culture, there's sometimes a struggle to live in the label of a filmmaker, of a director for me. I hope that makes sense, because it's like I'm thinking in those moments right before I say it, like when people say, hey, what do you do? Well, I'm a filmmaker. And it's like before I could answer that, sometimes that struggle, that fight, there's that voice in your head of, well, I don't even know what it is. It's just the doubter in your head, right? Maybe we all have it. I know I do. That says, no, you're not. You're not a filmmaker. You're not doing that. I mean, are you really a filmmaker? Are you really a director? What have you done? Who are you? And it's that voice that pops up, and it's like, man, sometimes it's so easy to give up to that. But I fight, and I choose not to, primarily because I know that it doesn't matter what cultural or societal norms say as far as who I am. It's about what I'm doing and what I believe and the label I want to live through. So I say that as a word of encouragement, because you might know what it is you want to do and what you want to be, and you still get discouraged in those moments of battle with that voice of doubt. And I want to encourage you to fight through it, speak it into existence, defeat it with your words. They're powerful. And defeat it with your labels. And we can start doing that right now, today, and for the rest of this week, as we attempt to better flesh out the path to mastery for our lives. So, listen, you guys got to start being conscientious of the labels you're living in. And make sure those labels are labels that are bringing you closer to achieving the dreams that you want to achieve, bringing you closer to the life that you want to live, bringing you on more stable ground for the path to mastery that is your life. Because we live the labels. We live into the labels we give ourselves. So, get your week started off right by being conscientious of the labels you're living in. And go get it. And start speaking into existence. We can all do that right now. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here with us on this journey as we try to live in the labels we're giving ourselves, me and Chris. And I'm glad we're all in this together. I appreciate y'all being here. Follow the show. Subscribe to the YouTube. But regardless, we ain't stopping. We're going to keep pushing out content. We're going to keep creating. Because we're just living into our labels, man. We got a plan. We got a vision. We want to help you get yours if you need it. So let us know. All right, y'all. I appreciate you. I'll see you next week.